Hello students. Now in this video we are going to discuss about the public or statutory corporation. Fine. And again in this video we are going to discuss the features, merits and demerits of this company which is from the public sector. Again here the interference of the government is involved, either not completely but then indirectly. Okay, starting off with the features. Point number 1 explains formation by passing on Act of Parliament. So to create this company, a special act has to be passed in the Parliament and this company gets created. So the formation of the company is again very easy. It does not require too much of formalities. Fine, but when the company is getting created by passing the act in Parliament, still it has a control of the government, either of the state government or of the central government. Separate legal entity. Now when this company is created by the act of Parliament, here again like a joint stock company, the workers, the owners, that means the government, and the company itself has a separate legal entity. Entity means identity. So the owners, the investors, that is the government from where the fund is coming, has a different identity, and the company itself has a separate identity like an artificial person and work on its own name. Managed by board of directors. Now who control? As we were talking about a separate legal identity, now government cannot can control every time. So what government does? They appoint board of directors who are nominated by the government. Right? Here election procedure doesn't take place the way it was taken in the joint stock company which belongs to the private sector. Here the board of directors are appointed by the government. Powers and objectives are defined by act only. Now when we talk about the features is a combination of merits and demerits both. You will be studying some of the feature in the merits and in the demerits, which says over here, point number 5 is that the people who are performing the work over here, they don't have to take any step beyond the powers or objectives. They cannot take the actions or decisions on their own. Everything which they have to perform has already been decided and discussed in this particular Act of Parliament. So they have to just abide by the rules which are mentioned. Then there is an administrative autonomy. There is no political interference. The government is giving the funds to perform, but politically government is not interfering over here the way government was interfering in the first firm which we discussed in the previous video, that was departmental undertaking. In that particular organization there was too much of interference involved of the government, but such thing is not over here. So the board of directors, they enjoy the administrative autonomy. They are independent. They can take the decisions on their own. They don't have to wait long for the decisions to be approved by the government, by the higher authorities, and then accountable to the Parliament. Again, when the funds are coming from the government, that has to be very clearly shown in the budget, in the reports every time in the Parliament, that where the company is investing its fund and what is the profit or revenue level it is generating every year. So that was all about the features. Now we have some points in the merits which are common. Administrative autonomy, which we have just now discussed as the second last feature, that the company is absolutely free from the interference of the political leaders, right? It can take their own, and since it is free, point number 1 is connected with point number 2. That's why there is quick decision. No red tapeism is there because they don't have to wait for the approval by the ministries. They can take their own decisions. Another motive to run this organization is service motive. Yes, they do have a profit motive, but service motive is their primary, their first objective, to serve the society. Effective staff, efficient staff, people, those who are working, most of them have been appointed and nominated by the government. So the work which is happening over here is a excellent quality of job. And last one is professional management. The people, those who are performing the activities over here, are the nominated by the government. Again, I'll repeat the same thing. So they are the representative of coming from the different various parts from where the government has appointed them and joined them over here in this organization. So it's a beautiful combination of brilliant minds who are working over here. Now let's move towards the demerits. What is the demerit? Now it's a very contrary points written opposite to each other. Here the merit says administrative autonomy and the demerit says autonomy is only on paper. Yes, these things are only on paper, that they are free to take their own decisions. Being a government sector company, yes, the government is not involving directly, but the government is involving indirectly, since it is here you can see controlled by government. So if there is a control by government, the independency, that autonomy thing is only on paper. In reality, these board of directors, these performers, these brilliant minds still have to wait for the approval. The things may sound very contrary. Yes, it is. On paper, it may sound different, but in the practical field, it may look a little different when they are being executed. Next is lack of initiative. Lack of initiative, since the initiative is not being given to the performers. They have to abide by the rules which are given in the act, the powers which are already mentioned. So since they are not liberal to use their own decision power, there is little lack of initiative in them, a lack of motivation in them. Rigid structure, again I'll define the same thing, defined by the rules, by the act only. So everything is already mentioned in the act. That's why it is very rigid and very strict. They are not liberal, they are not free to take their own decisions. These all points are just clubbed with each other, having less or more the same explanation. Unfair practices. Here the people, those who are working, they may take some decisions which can be only for their benefits, or they may get involved in some kind of unfair practices which can prove to be very harmful for the firm and for the society. So here we are winding up with the second part of the public sector firm. In our next video, we are going to study about the government company. Thank you.